Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books because I do. I love books. I thought about, every time I say because I do, I love books. I always feel like I have to explain that I initially wanted my channel to be called Peter Loves Books. But I think at the time, Peter Loves Books was taken on some social media platform, like either Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. So I went with Peter Likes Books, which I actually prefer at this point. I like Peter Likes Books better than Peter Loves Books better. Anyway, how are you guys doing today? I am sitting here. I just went through Starbucks. I got my coffee for the day. And then I reviewed this secret menu drink, which is called the Dirty Werewolf. And it's like a Halloween themed drink. It's actually really, really good. So go check out my review channel and you can see it over there. Yeah, it's really good. Very spicy. But anyway, I thought I would get on here today. I want to get back to doing some book tags and some Audible book hauls on my channel. And I want to get back to doing some just like book discussions about things. But I also just like love driving around talking about books. So I do it in my vlog at night a lot. And I've been trying to kind of like save some stuff that I was going to talk about to do a book vlog. So I wanted to come on here and talk. I think the last one that I did, I had finished Dorinda Jones' A Bad Day for Sunshine, which I just cannot sing its praises enough. It was such a fantastic book, and it is so hot in here. Let me turn on the air so it's not super... It's 60 degrees outside, so you would think it wouldn't be super hot, but it is hot in this car, because I had the heat on to 74. Anyway, let me turn on the air on. Okay, air conditioning on. I have these Old Spice scent things. I have one here, and then I have one over here, and they're like smelling up my whole car. My whole car smells like Old Spice right now. It actually smells really good. But anyway, I can't say enough of great things about that book. And I actually bought, she has another series, and the series is about a Grim Reaper, and I think it's called like one heel in the grave or 1 foot in the grave or something, the first one. There's like 10 main books to the series, and then there's like in between. So there's like book 2 and then like book 2.5, you know what I mean? So I bought the first book in the series and I'm gonna start that. I don't know if I'm gonna start that next. There's actually another, I'm trying to like kind of get into series a little bit, like in reading series. Which, funny enough, let me tell you what happened. So, when I was looking for the Dorinda Jones series on Audible, by the way, happy belated birthday to Mel. I've shouted her out on every channel for her birthday and wished her happy birthday, but anyway, we'll just do one last happy belated birthday, Mel. I hope you had the best birthday ever, which, by the way, she did, I know, because I talked to her. So anyway, so when I was like on Audible and I was like looking for the Dorinda Jones series, of which they have all of the books in the series, so I'm really excited about reading it. And I think it's the same narrator that did A Bad Day for Sunshine, and she's a fantastic narrator. So underneath it, they had other books listed, and there was this series by K.F. Breen, and it's called Magical, the first one's called Magical Midlife Madness. Well, I didn't do my research. I thought it was like, when I went and looked, because it had all of her books listed underneath there, I thought they were just like all from like this one series. So I thought, oh, here's another series that has like 10 books in it. And the reviews in the first book were fantastic. So it's about this woman. Well, anyway, let me just tell you the long story short, which for me is impossible, you know. I finished the first one, or when I was getting towards finishing the first one, I was looking to see what the second one was called, which is called Magical Midlife Dating. And that one is out already, but that's as far as it goes. They only have 2 books. She only has 2 books out so far in this series. She actually has several series that she's written about all kinds of things. What do we call that? Magical? It's not magical realism, but like magical, paranormal, whatever. Mel and I were talking about that the other day. We're like, what do we call that? What do we call that? Otherworldly? Like whatever. But anyway, And the next one comes out, I think, like in November or May. So I'm going to continue to read the series because I really like, let me turn my phone over, it's like glaring in my face. I really like the series. So the first book is called Magical Midlife Madness. I'm not going to tell you the whole thing, this is not a spoiler. I'm just going to give you the basic premise for it, like if you just started it. So it's about this woman, and her name is Jessie, and she's like, they don't say really, I don't think they ever say her exact age, but she's like in her early 40s. And her husband is like wanted a divorce and leaves her. And like that's made very clear, like he leaves her, like they talk about that in the book. And then her son just went to college on the East Coast. She lives in like LA area, like a suburb of LA. And so like she sells the house that they lived in together, and she's got some like money from the settlement. So she's not like super pressed. But she goes to live with her parents. This is literally all like in the first chapter. So she goes to live with her parents. It's really, really funny. The book is hilarious. And actually, well, I'll talk about that in a second. So anyway, she goes to live with her parents, and like her parents have like all these quirky habits that she's forgotten about, and like some new ones since they've gotten older. And she's like, I just can't do this. She's like, I cannot live with my parents. And so she's having lunch with her friend, this woman named Diana, who's like her childhood friend. And when they were kids, they went and they stayed in Diana's family, like estate or castle kind of deal. It's like an estate. Like, but imagine kind of castle, right? Like out in the middle of nowhere in the Sierras, okay? So she's like, oh, my aunt is looking for a caretaker, and you loved that house. And she's like, well, and Jessie's like, well, you thought that house was scary. And she's like, the house is super scary. I don't know who that is. That person's just gonna have to go away. Go away! Go away! She's not a Christian! I've said that like 50 times today. Okay, so anyway, that's from Wife Swap. Do you remember her? Ouija boards! Gargoyles! So anyway, and she's like, do you want to come and be the caretaker of this house? And she's like, sure. Well, let me just say that it's, like, all of this is like basically on the summary of the book. It goes into this whole thing about, the whole book is basically about like magic in this town. I don't want to say anything more about that, about it than this. But if you like magic, and I mean like magic, I mean like magical creatures, like gargoyles, like seriously, I'm not joking, like gargoyles. But anyway, Ouija boards, but no, seriously, like gargoyles, mages, vampires, werewolves, all that stuff. If you're into all of that and kind of like the history of all of it, you'll love this book. Now, I will tell you, it's not like the most deeply researched book about it. Like, it's very surface level, kind of like magical creature stuff. But I mean, it is a book about magical creatures and how she kind of like comes into this world. But the whole thing is so funny because it's all like happening around her and she has no clue. And she has to kind of decide, you know, like, anyway. So, let me just tell you, I so loved this book. I read it in like, I listened to it in like 3 days, I think. 3 or 4 days, but like, there was like a whole day that I didn't listen to any audiobooks. It's really short. It's less than 8 hours on Audible. And it's just a super fast read. But, so I don't know if you know this, but so I'm really excited about that. I don't know which book I'm going to choose next. I'm thinking about either reading the first book in the Charlie Davidson series by Dorinda Jones, or I'm going to read The Naturalist, which is by, I think it's Andrew Greenman or something. I can't remember what his name is. The guy that wrote The Girl at the Bottom of the Sea, or whatever, the one that I just read not too long ago, because I loved that book. And he has a series that's called The Naturalist. And everybody that reviewed his newest book said the Naturalist series, which I think is like 3 books in the series, they said it was like much better than the original. So I think, or much better than that book. So, which that book is a series now, is going to be a series too. So I'm thinking about reading that book. I don't know, should I? And then I have like 2 Riley Sager books that I want to read. And then I also want to read The Raven Boys this month. These are actually all Audible books that I want to listen to. I want to listen to The Raven Boys because I try to put it on my TBR every Halloween and I never do. And I was going to check last night to see if Spookathon is going on this year, but I haven't watched a whole lot of YouTube videos for like the last week and a half, so I haven't caught up on my booktube, so I don't know what, if Lala from Books and Lala is, or Kayla from Books and Lala, if she's doing Spookathon this year or not. I hope so, because I love Spookathon so much. So I'll have to see if she's doing that, but I'm trying to read a lot of scary books this year. If you want a recommendation for like a good graphic novel for Halloween, I will tell you, last year I read Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I got it at Meyer. I don't know where else you can get it. You can probably get it online, but it's so cute, and it's about this guy and this girl, and they've worked at this pumpkin patch for 4 years, and it's their last Halloween before they're done with high school, and they've been like best friends like every year at this pumpkin patch. Let me just tell you, it is one of the best books I've ever read. It is so adorable and cute. So anyway, that's a little side note, but I have to tell you, and I don't know, like, I would be interested to know, people probably have steered away from recommending these kind of books to me, but if these are books that you like, would you please let me know in the comment section below which ones are your favorites? I'm kind of like, okay, so there's this whole section on Audible. Now, okay, first of all, on Audible, if you didn't know this, they have a whole new thing called, oh shoot. If you have an Audible membership, there's now, like, I think it's like, they say 6,000 titles, but that includes podcasts and stuff. I think it's 1,200 free books that are like mainstream free books that you can download for free. They're included. It's called something, but underneath the books it says included. And if at the top of your Audible thing, it's like the fourth thing over, and it says, I can't remember what it says, but you just hit that tab and you go to the bottom of it. At the very bottom, it'll say audiobooks, podcasts, and something. Hit the audiobooks, and it'll take you through, and you can literally look through the 60 pages, and you can download any of those books for free if you want to. I've downloaded like 20 or 30 of the books. Is that what I was going to say? Oh, so on that, they have a section, and it's called Cozy Mysteries. And I was like, what is Cozy Mysteries? And it was recommended to me because I read this magical midlife madness book, right? Well, Cozy Mysteries are supposedly like these small town mysteries or whatever. And like, okay, an example is, because I downloaded it, it's one of the free ones, The 12 Slays of Christmas. And Slays is like S-L-A-Y-S. But anyway, they're like murder mysteries that take place in these small little towns, and they're like cute and comfy, and you know, they always like, it's like a woman moves into a town and she buys like a coffee shop or a bookstore, and there's like a murder with like the librarian is killed. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm like fastly falling in love with like the idea of reading those. So if you guys have any suggestions on those, I would really, really appreciate it. I want to maybe get into trying some of those series as well. I just like the idea of a series and like kind of going through it. And you know, at first I was like, well, if I start a series, then I'll have to like read it all the way through. But I was like, I don't do that with a Netflix series. Like, you know, I might watch like 3 or 4 different shows at the same time. I might not just like watch one and binge it all the way through, you know? I'm somebody that likes a little bit of everything. When I go to a buffet, God, I haven't been to a buffet in forever, but when I go to a buffet, I try a little bit of everything. So anyway, you know what I mean? You could do that with books too. So I'm really, really excited about the month of October as far as reading. I've got all kinds of things I want to read, and I want to read a lot of scary stuff this month. There's not actually a lot of new books that are out or that are coming out that I'm really excited about. Actually, John Grisham has put like 3 books out this year, I think. He has another one coming out, but it's really long. I think it's like 20 hours on Audible. I will tell you what I am super, super excited about, and it comes out in November. It comes out like the day after Thanksgiving, and that is Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. And it is the sequel to Ready Player 1, and I literally cannot wait. I actually already bought it, pre-ordered it on Audible. If you've never listened to Ready Player 1, well, first of all, the book and the movie are completely different. So if you've never read the book, okay, I am not somebody that is into science fiction. I am not somebody that is into video games, but Ready Player 1 was such a fantastic pop culture book if you grew up like in the 80s and 90s. Like, he literally has his finger on the pulse. I mean, there's so many pop cultural references, and the friendships, like, they're so much better in the book than they are in the movie. I thought the movie was well done. I liked the movie. In fact, I might watch it today. But I thought the movie was good. But, like, the book is just, if I never read the book, I would have loved the movie. And I did like the movie, but the book was just so much better. I mean, so much, and different, and very, very different, too. The characters are very different in the book. And a little bit more innocent, honestly. So anyway, I can't wait for that to come out. And there's something else that's coming out that I can't wait for. But anyway, yeah, I'm just real excited. And then I'm also still reading. I haven't in like several days sat down and read any of the Lemony Snicket books. So I need to just finish that book 1 so I can get into book 2. And then I'm also reading that that Harlequin novel that I picked up from my grandma. That might have to be a DNF, you guys. Like, I just feel like I'm wasting time reading a book that I don't want to read. You know, it's interesting to me because today, I think if you're a lover of romance, there are a lot of really great romance novels out. You know, I was thinking about this with like my grandma. But like, at the time that my grandma would have been like reading the Harlequin novels, I mean, there weren't a lot of like Danielle Steele books out. There weren't a lot of like really good romance novels that were quick reads. And so I think that's probably why she gravitated towards reading the Harlequin novels, because they were I can remember going to the grocery store when I was growing up, and like the whole bottom 2 rows of the grocery store book, you know, the book area in the grocery store, which used to be much better than it is now, the bottom 2 aisles would all be just those white Harlequin novels. And I'm sure my grandma, because she went to the grocery store every single day, just probably picked up another one every single day, you know, and read it. I mean, they're literally like 100 to 200 pages. Like, they're like 150 to 250 pages. They're real short reads. A lot of them are big print, or large print for, you know, like people that have a hard time seeing. Like, for me, they're fantastic because I have to have reading glasses constantly now. But the stories just aren't like greatly developed, and I don't know, I'm only on page like 20 or 30, so maybe I haven't really given it that much of an effort, but like, it just is boring. It just is not that great to me. And I think that there are some really well-developed romances out today, you know, so it's like they don't really hold a candle to that compared to, you know, back in the day. I don't know, if you're somebody that reads Harlequin novels and you have a recommendation for a Harlequin novel, let me know. But those are all the things I'm reading right now. And like I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be doing, I mean, not today, but sometime probably this week, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some book tags. And I haven't done a book tag in a long time, and maybe like an Audible haul, because I want to talk about all the things I've purchased on Audible, the things that are included as well. And yeah, I wish I could remember what that was called on Audible, but it just says included. You can see it at the top. And I was so excited going through that. I felt totally like went crazy, and just like Mel said, she fell down the rabbit hole looking at all that stuff, and I certainly did too. I was like totally fell down the rabbit hole of looking at all of those titles that are included. So check them out if you have an Audible membership. I mean, they're all free. They're all free. What do you call it? Titles. I did buy 3 more credits last night, though. I know. I always have to, though. So anyway, I was out of credits. But anyway, I have 50 or 60 books that I haven't even read yet in my library. But anyway, I love you guys, and I will be back in a few days with, or maybe even tomorrow, I don't know, with a book tag. So I love you, and I will see you then. Oh, don't forget to give me recommendations on cozy mysteries. Love you. Bye.